And welcome back, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, approaching Cosmo Canyon after doing some reconnaissance and resource gathering and all that.
A sacred sanctuary where the planet's greatest minds gather.
It's beautiful. More than I ever imagined. Come on, let's pick up the pace. I can hear it calling my name.
Yeah, me too.
And it looks just like every other location in the, when compared to the original one, larger than it was in the original one. And even in the original one, it was the visual styling and setting was very much established to be. And I think this is just exactly how what kind of things this remake does very well. It has what is the original one is made bigger and grander. That would be a gliding post to quite many places. They've added these big fluttery banners and all that. And up there would be Bugenhagen's laboratory, and I wonder what kind of does he remain that old sagely appearance as he used to be.
Hey, guys! It's me! I'm back! Nanaki? I can't believe it! It really is you! We were so worried! Oh, come on!
Whoa.
Now, why don't you go pay your respects to fellow Bugenhagen? Come on! You can let them through. They're good people. I promise. After all, they're the reason I'm here.
What in the hell was that? Hey guys, it's me. Who?
He's such a softie.
Real quick, gotta check something. An airship dropped these on us this morning. Wanted posters of the terrorists who bombed those reactors. But I think we can say you had nothing to do with all that. Even if Nanaki hadn't vouched for you, it's obvious. Welcome to the sanctum of planetology, Cosmo Canyon.
And once again I have this kind of sense of awe. And it was real nice that Kate did that kind of happy jumping to indicate that yep, he's the one who's behind all that mess. And it's real nice that the little flavor text about the technology used in here mentions that the Cosmo Canyon uses, instead of Mako energy, well, they use it indirectly in form of wind power, and all homes are equipped with battery systems, or you could say electricity storage systems to work. So
Must be that way for a reason.
Gotta keep on our toes. The planet is always watching from each end.
and the music is the same, but it's been remade. Cosmo Canyon. Yep, several layers, and there's got a would look some sort of fighting arena where there might be a boss fight, you could say, or some kind of other big celebrations. Yep, it will. And like Kalma, which was, well, in technical sense, we might say that Cosmo Canyon might have been a bit bigger location, in sense that how much different kind of rooms and stages it had, but it has been expanded just as has been. Well, Cosmo Canyon is bigger, and so is the Sildra Inn. And somebody plays Queen's Blood in here. And there's a piano with a... Let's take the notes. But not played because that piano playing minigame is hard. At least for me. Yep, and it really feels a big crowded city of quite unique. And there was also a mention about how they, what's the feeding system, and over say how they feed it themselves in here, and it was mentioned about there's a little bit of farming and quite lots of hunting gathering stuff, which I would think quite plausible or likely.
Everything we have is a gift.
Item store, weapons. Does this guy sell any new stuff?
I only sell to customers I deem worthy.
Well, he sold stuff, alright.
Wield those things now.
And I see, wonder, does the item store have anything discount stuff?
Only the best classic canyon medicines.
Well, it does have some booster packs for the Queen's Blood, which I of course buy all of them.
Did you find everything?
Just because, yeah. But I'm still trying to go to the, handle the plot and material store.
How can I be of service? Oh, and please come again.
Yep, all kind of things, and you might say might be considered handy. Climbing upwards.
Tonics, liniments, filters. We have everything you need to cure what ails you.
And potions. Mega potions are quite useful. Although I would say that in the original 27 potions quite quickly become obsolete, especially the first potion.
I was born and raised here, in this canyon. I was to become a watcher of the Veil like those before me, until I was taken by Shinra. Now that I'm home and have repaid my debt to you, I plan to serve my village once more. I appreciate all that you've done for me. Thank you.
We're really gonna miss you, Red.
Oh, don't say that. You're only making this harder. I mean, I wish we had more time, but this is my duty.
I suppose it was your duty to act the old man.
I wanted you to treat me as an equal, not a dog.
Is that you, my boy?
Coming!
That voice shifts were, I'd say, kind of spooky.
Nah, I'm sure we'll see him around the canyon. The real question is, why did we come here? To learn the secrets of planetology. Come on!
Can't forget that materia.
As for me... I'm gonna steal some shut-eye, if you don't mind.
Then we can see the sights.
So let's just go forward. And it's interesting that because in the original Final Fantasy VII there was a mention that Barret had been in Cosmo Canyon before, and he had partially gotten the idea of Avalanche over in here. But I'm now just doing a little bit, doing the, you could say, plot thing of going for following Nanaki, or you could say in this case, or Red.
Sewing.
And here's the cameraman again.
Fancy running into you here. Say, how about I get a shot of you giving thanks to the planet? The canyon's also famous for its unparalleled view of the starry night sky. I made sure to bring all my night photography equipment along. Can't sleep until I've got the perfect starlit shot. Just let me know if you find any good photo spots.
I think this rearranged version of the Cosmo Canyon music doesn't have that kind of, you could say, bass heaviness, weightiness of bass sounds of the original one. It sounds, well, in a sense it sounds less powerful because it doesn't have so much of, it ain't so heavily on bass. But I think that when Nobuo Uematsu was composing the songs of the Final Fantasy VII.
Not so fast. Sorry, but visitors aren't allowed in here. You see, this is where we keep all our valuables.
I was saying that when Nobuo Uematsu was composing these all these music to Final Fantasy VII, it was the first time when he could basically do the game music with real instruments or instrument samples, not just basically computer chips, and which might mean that he might have gone a bit overboard in using bass instruments, because, well, you can do low tones with the computer chips, but you just can't get the same kind of weight like in the heavy strings or bass drum or any other such instruments. Oh yeah, he's got distinctly Chinese
These are the
design.
friends I was talking about.
Yep.
Thank you for looking after Nanaki. My name is pääkeskus. I teach planetology here in the canyon. One could say I know a thing or two about our world.
A thing or two? I doubt there's a thing or two you don't know about it.
Well, it might seem that way to a child like yourself.
I'm not a child anymore. I'm 48.
40 what?
Nanaki here has a long life ahead of him. In human terms, I would say he's about 15 or 16 years old.
That's more than old enough. I can protect our Vale and everyone in it. Which is more than I can say for my good-for-nothing father.
Speaking of the members of our little community, have you announced your return to one and all monarchy?
Not yet. Be right back.
But where are my manners? Please, come in and have a look around.
So he basically flies around with a standing on a piece of materia. Or maybe he has fused with it. I don't know. Something. But I think where I could see the planetarium scene, which was big spectacle in the original one. I am quite certain that they're gonna make it a big spectacle here as well.
Have my devices piqued your curiosity? They are essential to my studies of the planet.
He's got info. He's got. Although I would assume that.
Now those devices are testing the pull of gravity.
Materia samples.
They appear to be little more than a glistening mineral at a glance. It is in fact a crystallized collection of our planet's memories.
It's like you're singing to me of the planet. Don't you worry, my dear. I'll find a way to bring out the full depths of
You might also, in a sense, look that the materia might be considered something like a gemstones of except they do have
various energies. I must ask that you handle it with care. It's a rather delicate device, you see.
That would have appeared to be some sort of seismometer, meaning to say it measures vibration and bumps of the ground. Which is quite interesting device. And planetarium.
That's a scale model of our planet and the surrounding stars. One could say the dust it's collected represents the people who live upon it.
Although I would expect that they would not be on scale. It's very... Now this place really feels like a complete place of learning and study. Oh, and there's even a hammock there to sleep in.
You'll recognize that little scamp. I'll have you know that in his childhood, Nanaki was quite a handful.
Well, he doesn't have an eye. I don't think it was caused by illness because there's a big scar on his face. And it's a interesting little change in a sense that how his character appears different.
Detectives ever built. Though I suspect it can't detect much now. Let's not be hasty. I'll show you that room later.
Oh yeah, that would be the big planetarium room he has. To give a big show with flashy lights and stuff. Smoke, mirrors, flashing lights.
That right there is a type of a current generator. It harnesses the power of the wind to produce new airflows of its own. Perhaps you've encountered them before during your travels.
Yeah, those are the things which make the chocobos fly, give lift to gliding chocobos, which, well, they haven't been real flying chocobo yet in this game. Gliding ones, yeah. Even though with their stubby wings, I don't think they would, and heavy size, I wouldn't think they would glide well. They would think they would much more plummet. Despite them being quite sturdy and tough birds. And a telescope.
You won't find a larger telescope on the planet. With it, you can see to the edge of the galaxy. There's no better view of the stars than through this scope. But the lens could do with some cleaning. My apologies.
Oh, so it is not a mirror telescope, it's an lens-based telescope, which are not as effective as mirror-based telescopes. Although, of course, lens-based telescopes were important in the study of astronomy, learning about what kind of things, celestial bodies and all that were based, and lens-based telescopes were used to make some important discoveries, like, let's say, moons of Jupiter. But it is an impressive and vast location.
That's the planet crying out. A sorrowful dirge indeed. One I've heard all too often of late. This tubing allows us on the surface to hear the inner voice of the planet.
What we just heard didn't come from the planet, though. That was definitely the voice of a weapon.
You seem awfully sure of yourself, miss.
Because we saw them with our own eyes. Two, in the Corel and Gungaga reactors. They were loud and huge.
A fascinating account, were it true. However, such grand delusions could be a sign of Mako poisoning. Do see a doctor.
Excuse me?
Oh. Yes. That would do them some good. Judging from everything you've said, the three of you are unfamiliar with basic planetology. But it is never too late to learn. Please, come with me.
And in the original one, you could pick a groove you would get there. Except it might have been Aerith was always meant to be in a groove, but the one else would be not.
I present to you our planetarium.
And it's planetarium.
While the Shinra building features the latest iteration, this particular one is my original design.
I really can't remember planetarium in Shinra building as the first one, but it's a long time since I played it. It didn't have, as good as that game is as an expansion, it suffers from the fact that it's just the first act of Midgar, which really doesn't do more than just start the story. While this is telling the story further, which of course means it's much better in that sense.
This is only the beginning.
A shooting star!
Planetology is not simply the study of the cosmos and the celestial bodies that dwell in it. Rather, it is a quest to comprehend the cyclical nature of life. Behold, the planet we call home. It was from its soil, so teeming with life, that mankind was born. And like all living things, man is fated to die. So, what happens next? The body withers and returns to the planet. But what of the mind, the spirit, the soul? Much like its former vessel, it too returns whence it came. great river where all intertwine and circle the planet without end. A cycle of continuous convergence and divergence. The ceaseless ebb and flow that is the life stream. An apt name, though it is as much a reservoir as it is a stream, being the sum of the planet's spiritual energy. It is the very essence of our star, the blood coursing through its planetary veins. And if ever that essence were to be entirely depleted, of course, these are but basic principles of planetology.
So you're saying that Mako is spiritual energy, which we're using up?
Just so. Siphoned from the planet and processed for industry, that energy can no longer fulfill its true purpose. It is fated to fuel man's machinery, then fade away.
Okay, but does it actually fade away? I mean, what if it doesn't? What if it just returns to the life stream in a different form? Is that possible?
A novel theory, suggestive of a lack of understanding. However, that can be overcome with time and education.
You rang?
Please escort this young lady to our seminar room, would you?
Right this way. Okay.
Hey, can I come?
Because now,
Planet runs out of energy. It and everything on it dies, right?
Yes.
There any way to avoid this? Like, making the spiritual energy stronger?
Why are you asking me such things? I'm sorry. I've come to realize that I'm somewhat stuck in the past. We've entered an era in which humanity exerts unprecedented influence over its environs. And as both the planet and society evolve, so too must science. And yet it seems that I cannot. Perhaps I'm much too old of a dog to learn any new tricks.
now, interestingly enough, Tifa made a completely very strong counter argument about that. Maybe they, because as much as we, for example, you take the fossil fuels like coal, you burn it, it becomes soot, dust. But basically, once it's the carbon dioxide mostly. It becomes basically more simpler form, so combines with oxygen. But that carbon dioxide does not leave the planet. So, in a basically with very long term, we should say millions of years, that carbon dioxide once again returns to the planet seam with a level, in a sense of it becomes coal again with by binding into the basically plant life that has become which then became coal.
Thanks so much for taking such great care of Nanaki for us. Fellow Bugenhagen instructed me to let you take anything you think might prove useful on your journey. Check out the storeroom when you have a chance.
Oh, meaning that I have a chance to loot. Oh, yeah, and it might be something that if you would take about how the Mako energy is handled, somebody might eventually figure it out. For example, nowadays there's a matter of these carbon vacuums, so I don't know the exact carbon binders that basically when you you don't want to basically recycle the fossil fuels and make them more use them more beneficially and effectively, not just lob big rocks to the fire and burn it as such, becoming big loads of ash and dust and soot and all that. You want to burn it real thoroughly, which would be a matter of effectiveness. And same might be applied to Mako energy, that they could basically make it more effective and all that with long age. And Bugenhagen doesn't seem to think so, which is a nice little, you could say, improvement about the theme, because that kind of thing, that how can something be taken out from planet without physically taking it out from it? Of course, you could say that when it's a matter of pollution and all that things, pollution is basically stuff which is not meant to be there, or dirt or something. And that is the, you could say the, I don't know, could you say that that would be the difficulty of danger of polluting and all that, is that we put stuff where it doesn't belong. Or better say, you don't know what to do with the dirt, so you just don't know how to handle that. Which are all, I would say, quite important matters to consider. Oh, I left this door. But it seems that there are things going on, and they made a little change in the city, implying that lots of time has passed, because sun doesn't seem to be at the daytime. It seems to be at more evening sun. I think that's a nice detail in visual storytelling. Change the sunset styling. There's Yuffie.
This village is lame. Did you know none of the materia here is even real? And don't get me started on the planetologists. Bunch of blowhards in love with the sound of their own voice.
Well, that's better than love of sound of Yuffie's voice, because it's quite great. It ain't particularly pleasant voice she has. It's actually quite grating.
I heard from fellow Bugenhagen. By all means, please come and join the seminar. Follow me if you would.
Which would you say is a more worthy pursuit?
Interestingly enough, when you look about them, they seem to have quite stereotypical ancient Chinese fashion in here. Especially Bugenhagen with his long palatial robes and haircuts and all that. Although that haircut, it's not that ancient, you could say, style. It would be much more in the realm of
into physical stuff. Painting and poetry are more my thing. My old man, he used to say
What about you, miss? You must have a story to share. Please.
Me? Okay. Where to begin? I fell into the life stream. I don't have words to describe it, except beautiful, maybe? It was a lot to take in. Feelings of kindness washed over me. Long-forgotten memories came flooding back. It was a warm, comforting place. But there was also conflict. A war between the planet and its enemies. And I We can't let them win. We need the planet, and it needs us. We have to rise up, fight back, defend it from this terrible threat. Thing is, I don't know how to do any of that. And I hoped you might have the answer. I'm not criticizing planetology or anything, and I'm not trying to scare anybody either. I just... You know... Never mind. This is all coming out wrong.
Please, do not be discouraged. Should you ever wish to try again, we would be more than happy to listen. What matters is that you keep challenging your beliefs. Stop doing that, and the answers will forever elude you. On that note, I think we should adjourn for the evening. The River of Lights is almost upon us, so let us head to the torch.
Not Cosmo Candle.
I'll see you at the festival.
Yep, they are really changing the, you could say, light settings of the location. Sun is setting. And just to check the amount of time, I'm gonna play a game of Queen's Blood before that. But first, let's have a chat with this guy.
It's our very first catch of the day, folks. We have ourselves a challenger. Hello, sir. Care to tell the folks at home who you are? Ha ha ha! Could this shark be more of a guppy? Well, I spy a row of razor-sharp teeth in this little fishy's maw. You might be the QB killer we've been waiting for, but there's only one way to find out. That's right, our audience doesn't want to hear commentary, they want to see blood! To up the ante, our challenger's opponent will be none other than your host with the most, me, Bernard!
Alright, so let's time to defeat him, play against him. And that camera looks actually kind of interesting. It seems to be something like a 20 years old digital video camera. But let's just check the recording and play the game and check the recordings. It looked like there was enough recording for this episode, so it is time to go for the next episode next time. Whenever it comes out for you. To me it comes very quickly, but to you later. See ya!